Today I am going to make some backgrounds in my journal because I don't like journaling on white paper. So I got this idea. I first saw it on a channel called Aganitha Peters. I hope I'm saying that right. And I've also, checked. She gave me the idea, and then I've seen others make tutorials about it. You use like highlighters and markers and stuff like that to, well, you use it like watercolor, I guess. You need some pens and a bottle of water. You can just sprinkle water with your fingers, but the result is not as good, I think. So I am using, this is a Swedish thing, Panduro. It's a hobby craft shop. It's a twin brush pen, water-based ink, random highlighters, Stabilo Pen 68 brush. I don't know. It's a brush. It's not a pen. And Ecoline brush pens. So I have my little box of pens here. I was going to try this one, but it bleeds so much that I think I will avoid it on this paper because it's very thin. Okay, and I do also sometimes use glitter pens to get some glitter into the ink. Glitter marker, Crelando. Well, what I do is I choose, let's see, I have a pink page, a green, blue, I think perhaps a red and orange spread is what I want here. So what I do is I cover this plastic bag. Oops. I just paint on it. I need some yellow as well, so it doesn't become too dark. Let's see. There is yellow, and this is a nice color as well. Yellow ochre. It's a bit darker. There we go. Everything is falling off my desk because it's too full. Okay, so the thing about using a plastic bag is that you can put your hand inside, so you can, well, control where the color goes fairly well. It's a while since I used it, so the drops the spray isn't as fine as it should be, so this will be interesting. Oh, and I forgot to put paper behind the page to protect it, so I'll have to add that as soon as I can, but I can't abandon this while it's cooking. Okay, I think I was thrown off a bit because I'm explaining what I'm doing, and it's a while since I did this, so there we go. This needs more yellow, much more. And perhaps a little pink. Or red, because this red, the Ecoline red, it doesn't really turn out super red. It sort of becomes, oops, a bit pink, if I remember correctly. Let's see. No, this is red. What am I talking about? But it's not like, a warm red. I don't know what I'm talking about. There, and now we wait for this to dry so we can do the next page. Hang on, it needs a tiny bit more yellow actually. Okay, I'm not going to wait until it's completely dry because that will take forever. I am putting a new protective paper here, which will soak up any residue. And I'm making a new page. So now I think I'll continue on the yellow theme, no, path. Perhaps some green and some blue. See how we do? Oh, they look like pearls or gemstones. I'm going to start on this side because it might bleed through when the paper is still so wet, and yeah, I don't know. It's fine if it does, but oh, this became not. This is not what I expected. I thought it would be more vibrant. Why is it so dull? Maybe the blue was too dark. I'm trying the other one now. So I sort of, inside the bag, I try to spread the paint as much as I can. I mean, you can't control it completely, and that's not what I want either, but you know, just so you get color everywhere. And yes, and it's important when you do a book like this, you need to make sure that there's ink close to the spine here in the crease, but not too much, because if you put too much, it bleeds into the back, like into the spine, and spreads to other papers, which, you know, it can be fine. It's not the end of the world, but maybe you don't want, you know, if you have like a pink spread and you don't want any blue bleeding into it, then you should avoid that. Let's see, do I want? No, red. What am I doing? I can't work and talk at the same time. I get stupid. And I like alternating between sort of dabbing like this and wiping. When I wipe, the ink becomes more evenly spread out, and when I dab, it becomes dotted like this, whatever you call it. Okay, more yellow and some yellow ochre. Where did it go? And a little bit more green. So to spread it out, you can sort of push it the way you want it to go. To spread it over the page, cover any white spaces that you want to cover. So I like to, you know, you need a balance between evenly spread paint or ink and this dabbing technique, because if you dab too much, it just becomes too busy, and if you don't dab enough and just spread the paint like this or the ink, it can become a bit boring, like the same over the whole page, like there's not much happening. So the dabbing adds a bit of interest, I think. Like that. Okay, new page. And the green has seeped into this page, so I'll have to take that into account. I think I'll make another blue spread, a blue-green one. And you can choose, either you sort of do the whole page at once, so you paint the whole plastic bag and sort of cover the whole page in one go, or you do it in small increments or whatever. So this is, I've painted the whole bag now, which means hopefully I'll cover the whole page in one go. Almost the whole page. Oops. It tends to stick to the page when you lift it, so you wipe, whether you like it or not, you wipe the paint across the page when you take your bag, when you lift your bag. So when I first, like this page, when I smushed the paint, the ink into the page, it looked like it was going to look one way, like there were these areas, like patterns, I guess, that didn't turn out that way, because when I moved the bag, it it stuck and did something else. But that's kind of the charm, I think, that you don't know how it's going to turn out. So I'm going to be a bit more careful this time, or at least try to be, and lift the bag, you know, a bit more carefully, like that. That's beautiful. Like unicorn colors. I'm gonna grab this page. So I have to be careful not to ruin this now that I've got this blend, or not blend, this gradient, I guess, that I like. But I do want, I mean, it's too white in here and up here, so what do I need? Maybe some dark purple, actually. Because this is kind of pink purple. And I think I'm going to put this here, on this side, and up here. Sometimes you need to add more water because, well, if it's too dry, it doesn't spread as well. It's good to sort of let it seep into the page a little. Not too much, you don't want to drench your book, but you know, it's a balance thing, as always with these things. I'm not entirely pleased yet, so maybe some more blue on this side. And when you have like, it's this line that I want to add color to, I can try to, I have, you know, paint a line on the bag, but it's really hard to, you know, it as soon as you turn it over, it goes where it wants, basically. But you can try to target the places that you want when you go in with these second layers. Okay, this turned out to be very busy, but that's okay. And depending on the paper, you know, the thickness of it, you will get bleeding. So, you know, there's always this element of chance. You may have, I mean, because this is very thin paper, and yeah, it bleeds through easily. So I can have, I've sort of designed a blue and pink page, but if I add yellow on the next page, it may bleed through and create sort of tiny dots of yellow. So you have to be fine with those sort of hopefully happy accidents, but accidents nonetheless. I'm just smushing residual paint into the page before choosing new colors. That one looks great. Yellow. Yellow is so hard to see, so you don't know if you've got enough. Okay, and when I'm going to try applying this without adding water, because this page is already so wet, so it might work without spraying it, or the result may be a little different, a little drier, you know, which can look great. Sometimes when it's well, I can show you how how it turns out. Yeah, that's fine. Well, this is typical when it's when the bag is quite dry. You get these sort of, you can see the brush strokes. And sometimes you might want that effect. But I'm going to apply more water and see where we land. I wonder if the yellow Echo line is dying on me, perhaps. I've used it a lot and there doesn't seem to be a lot of yellow left in it. This is not turning out great, so maybe add some orange to cover it up. Now, it's creative and chaotic in the sense that you really don't know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates. Okay. This was not what I planned, but that's okay. And you know, sometimes it looks very different when it's dry. So even if you think you've ruined a page, like I may have ruined this one, maybe not, because it may dry to become this interesting pattern. And as I said, sometimes there's bleed through and just additional accidents that change the game. Oh, look at that. I really love this color. It's so beautiful. But I don't like when it mixes with that one too much. They look great together, but when they mix, which they tend to do when things are wet and chaotic, not great. Because it becomes this muddy red color instead of vibrant ochre and vibrant pinkish purple. So I'm trying to keep them apart, but still on the same page. Maybe some more orange here. So some dabbing, so I don't mix the colors too much. Such a balancing trick. Okay. While we wait for this to dry, I could just quickly show you some examples of past experiments. So this is a typical page where I've applied some of the ink dry or half dry. So you get these sort of very defined patterns, whereas this has really run and you can see like splotches of water, you know, when it's probably, there's been a little pool of water here, or I've dropped water on it after it has half dried and it becomes this sort of thing. And let's see, oh, and here, typical place where it has bled through from the other side, and on this side as well. So there's yellow here, which there shouldn't be, and there's blue here. But I think it works, you know, it's supposed to be colorful. And I mean, I don't like this page, but I I think I don't like the pink and the blue together to begin with, so I might cover this up with a lot of other things. And I am going to, I think, add some design paper. I bought this pack off another person. She sold what she hadn't used. So I've had my eye on this paper pack. It's storytelling. But I have bought design paper before, and it doesn't really work for me because it's too finished. I like things to be a little more creative, you know. I like finding things in magazines and books and packaging and stuff that isn't ready made to be pretty or, you know, meant for crafting. But this, I was sort of, I want to try this anyway. So I think what I'll do is to cut strips from it like this and make borders, or maybe tabs or punch circles, make a pocket out of some of them. So all to prepare this book to look as Indian as possible, because that's the vibe I want in autumn. And look at this, it has bled through. I think maybe I'll keep a protective layer there. Yeah, it's already changed, as you can see, all of these pages. So the wetter the page becomes, the more the colors bleed. That's, you know, obvious, I guess. And sometimes that's a good thing. But I think the variety, you know, that every page is different, is the best thing. So I don't want all my pages to be really wet and bleed, but I don't want none of them to do it either. Little bit of glitter, it won't show, it almost won't show, but it just gives the page this sort of sheen. I wonder if I've got an example here. I think there is glitter on this page, but I don't know if you can see it. And here. Oh no, it's from this, it's a temporary tattoo that I've put in the book. Well, yes, there is some glitter across the page as well. So, I mean, that's just an extra touch. Can be nice. And now I used a highlighter, an orange, or actually two highlighters, an orange one and a pink one, so the colors are much sort of sharper. You can see how sort of, well, it's a neon color, which gives a different effect. And I don't want the whole page to be like that, so I'm going to blend it with some, just a twin brush pen. And again, you can see it bleed through here, so I have to take that into account, that okay, now some purple is being transferred from the other side of the page, or the paper, so that impacts the decisions I make, because what goes with purple, you know, I don't want to put colors on the other side here that don't go with whatever's on that side. Oops. And because I used highlighters, this page is very light. It's sharp but light. And that can be a good thing too. I mean, I do like my vibrant, strong colors, but some pages, just for variety's sake, it can be nice to have some subtle spreads, like this one. And that might also be, you know, my cue for adding these embellishments, perhaps, or they take over, I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence about this one because it's very, very subtle and very light, and I don't know. But it's all an experiment, so I'll just let it sit and dry and see how it turns out, because I won't know until it's dry anyway. Time for some green, perhaps? And I have different greens. I have a highlighter green, which is, again, different, lighter color. And this green. Let's use all of them. And actually I have some green glitter. I wonder if that... Oh, it's really a cold kind of green in this one, so I will add some blue-green as well to pick that up, so it doesn't look like an accident. Look at that, you can see where the ink goes, and you can, I mean, you don't have to put your hand inside the bag, I guess. It's just my way of doing it so far, but maybe you have more control if you do it like this. More, you can add, like I did now, just flip up the bag and spray the page if it feels like one area is too dry, like down here as well. And you can let it sit and add more ink. So there are tons of ways to do it, you know, different techniques to get different results. And I like to use them all because that way I get variety, as I said in my book. And the residue on the other side. Ha! That looks kind of cool on its own. I could just leave it like that, but I don't know. No, no, I don't think so. Some more green glitter, some regular blue, some green, blue, but I'll make this really wet and try to get it all spread out in one go. And since I had that pattern now first, it may actually stay. The pattern might stay, the first pattern, but that depends, you know. If you can do something like a pattern and then let it dry and then continue to get some kind of different effect and perhaps have like 2 layers of color. I'm a bit too impatient to do that. I want to move on to the next page, but you could make layers if you have the patience to wait for it to dry, or if you have a heating tool or a blow dryer or something. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's a bit mermaid-like and there's glitter in there. Can you see it? And here, sometimes you get this, like you can see how the brush strokes again that were on the bag, but I think I'm okay with that. It depends on how it looks. It depends on the page. And this time I think it looks okay. Need more protective paper, but I think this one I will let it sit for a little while. Yeah, I'm gonna let it dry for a while because I'm too pleased with this to worry it. Okay, my patience has run out and I will continue with the next page. I don't remember what I've done, but I think it's time for something yellow, super yellow. And if yellow bleeds through on a blue-green page, that's quite all right, because it just mixes with the blue to make green, or well, it looks good. So I'm not worried about that. Oh, actually, I could talk about these, because the reason I bought these Ecoline brush pens was because I love their watercolor. And I've been thinking I could use them as well, because normally I use these to ink my pages, but that's when I use like copy paper and, you know, one at a time. Now I'm in a book and it bleeds through, and these they're so, I don't know, pigmented or something, that it really bleeds through. That's wrong. I have no idea about the physics behind why they bleed, but I'm scared to use them. But now I've started talking about it, so I will have to try. But I think maybe what I've done wrong in the past is to use too much. Look at that. Much too much. Compared to if I use a pen. So maybe... Actually, I can show you another technique now that I have a lot of color. Ooh, don't let it run. That's the first thing. You can crumple up the paper to spread it like this. And do I put it there or there? No, no idea actually. Okay, here. Because I don't know how the ink will behave, or the watercolor, whatever. So now we're in new territory. I don't know how this will work. And look at that, it's really strong, you know, such strong color. So the other side of this page will probably be blue as well when I turn it. And I am totally transforming this side, and I'm not sure I did that well. Oops. Don't crumple your paper. And now oh, this is... Okay. learning curve. I think I need to add some dark blue and dab it to make it less, because now it's like I just painted it. Boring. Further I get into the book, the more difficult it gets to really reach into this crease and get it colored. So this page will look like a stormy sea, I guess, or sea, you know, froth, like spray. Oh, but look at this. I'm not sure why this happens. It must be water that, I mean, maybe, and here as well. Why does this happen? It's like it makes its own patterns, and it's like I have dropped water on it. So look at that, it's like fractals. I just have no idea. But I need to make this page less busy, because right now it doesn't fit with this side, so I will take some blue green and I was going to make this spread yellow. Well, good luck with that. Okay, now it's calming down a little bit on this side. Oh, now we're getting the thing I was talking about, 2 layers. Because the first layer that was very busy has half dried, so when I add more color, it sort of lies on top of that pattern, and you know, it becomes the best of both worlds. It's both busy and calm. The 2 layers sort of bring different things to the table. So yay, I guess. Yeah, it turned out quite nice, but I am going to add some yellow down there to pick up from this side. And new try on the next page, new try with the yellow, make a more yellow and orange page. Oh, just a little bit down here to mix it up. Okay, yeah, it turned out nice. So onwards. Are you bored yet? Have you clicked away yet? Are you thinking about clicking away, or is this some kind of meditation perhaps? Just watching these pages come to life. Some pink and some yellow ochre. And I still have blue on the bag, so that will become a part of this, whether I want it or not. A bit too dry, perhaps. And you can put the bag in the middle like this and make sort of a spread color on 2 pages and try to get it into the crease as well, like this. You don't have to do 1 page at a time. You can just dab the bag all over the place. Too much color there, it will bleed. Some more pink, purple pink. And I am going to try again with one of these. After this spread. Very dry. This is becoming like an ice cream page. It's every color under the sun. And as I keep saying, you just can't control that unless you're really careful and patient and wait for everything to dry, because I think it's the wetness of the page that really sort of drives the blending there. What do I want? Do I want yellow? Let's see if it does the trick. Nothing happens. More water. I don't think there's a lot left in that pen. Or this one. Maybe I can use a marker with, and this is really a cold, sharp neon yellow that will completely transform the impression you get from this page. Look at that. It's almost green because it's so cold. But, you know, in small doses, that can be beautiful. Some more, I think. Now it's sort of spreading in this blob of pink. Oh, sometimes this happens. If I use the pen and, you know, if I draw with a lot of pressure, so I sort of mark the bag, sometimes those marks make it onto the page. So I'm not super stoked about that, but it happens. So fair warning to you. Where is it? It needs a bit more down here, a bit more pink to give some kind of balance to this spread. And if a page is very wet and you sort of think, oh, this blob is too defined, it will not be defined when it's dry, because it will spread through the wet paper. So again, you can't really predict what will happen. Even like a squiggle like this will probably not be visible when this is dry. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not liking this. Sometimes, you know, not every page becomes a masterpiece. That's just the way it is. Yes, I'm going to use one of these again. Maybe red. Yeah, why not? Take a walk on the wild side. Use red. Because, oh, it has really bled. Okay, I won't take a lot. Maybe just like a dot like that. And no, actually, wait. I'm gonna use orange to mix it up. And we'll see. And with the bled pink there, it might turn out interesting. Or horrible. You never know. Into the crease. I like that. I want the other side to look exactly the same. So I guess some more red, some more orange, and some more yellow ochre. I love this. I mean, when I bought them, I don't know what I thought. I thought the pens themselves would be a bit like watercolor and like a brush pen. I don't know. It is a brush pen, but I don't know how to use brush pens apparently. So it just, I didn't like the result. I painted with them and I didn't like it. But this, I mean, the colors are as vibrant as these. Of course, it's the same brand, so I guess they know what they're doing. I'm not sponsored, by the way, I just love them. So yeah, they really found their thing, I think, or I found their thing. This is what they're perfect for. This is too red. I need more a yellow ochre. A bit dry up there. I don't like these kind of things where it's completely white in places, so I'll need to just spread it out a little here. It's fine when it looks like this, but not when it's really defined. Like defined white splotches I don't like. Adding a layer here to make this busyness disappear somewhat. Maybe some yellow. I keep trying with the yellow, even though it's, well, it does, there is some color left in the pen, but you can't trust it to cover the page. Okay, so this needs color. There we go, look at that. Nice. So after a while, when you've done this, you might want to let the book sort of rest. And oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. This paper is sticking. Not good. Don't use that again. Okay. Just because it gets very wet, and you might like to, you know, not do too many pages, because I don't know, if it bleeds many pages, if it gets so wet that many pages bleed through onto each other, that might not be what you want. It's not what I want. So I think I'm going to leave this alone for a while and put on the fan, and then come back and show you the result. Or actually, I could do this while I wait for it to dry. So I just bought this. So normally I would be super afraid to use it because, you know, you want to build your stash and never use it. But I have made a promise to myself, which I won't be able to keep. But I need to make a big, flamboyant promise in order to, you know, reach for the stars and reach the treetops, or whatever the saying is. I am going to finish my stash before New Year's Eve, which is ridiculous. I won't be able to do it, but that is my intention. So I'm because I want to combat this hoarding tendency, you know, this is too beautiful to use now because maybe I want it later in a more beautiful book when I become more talented. No, not more talented, but, you know, when I've learned more and do better things, and, you know. So, what was I saying? Yes, normally I wouldn't want to use this because it's new. I would put it in a box. But I won't do that now. I will use it. But now that I look at my pages, the problem is that many of them, I'm so pleased with them that I don't want to sort of draw the eye away from the beautiful patterns. So not all of these pages are eligible for borders, but this one is really ugly actually. What happened here? It looks like I just forgot to do something here, so I might cover the whole page with a picture or something, because that is not nice. But let's see, let's find a fairly boring spread. Is this boring? No, not really. Well, this is too busy. Well, I'm not sure I like the dry dabbing here, so that might be a place for something. So this color works. This doesn't. These kind of do, but it's too like, I don't know, is it? No, maybe it's good actually. That one wants to be there. So one thing I could do is to cut this and fold it so that half of it is visible on this side and then the other half on the other side. One problem is that, well, it doesn't cover the whole page, so, you know, you can cut a little piece here to add down here, but it will be visible. You will see that it's two different pieces, so I'm not sure that's a good idea. Another thing is, you know, do you want it to be symmetric? So you make two of these and put the other one here, but it doesn't really fit there, so no. I do like it there though. I could make a pocket. No, it's this area here that I want to cover up. So I'll just cut freehand, which, you know, on this asymmetric pattern, I'm feeling so brave. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like it. Maybe fold it. I don't really know what the point of it is though, because, you know, you can make tabs, but, or, you know, mark pages with this. having cold feet. Help. Because what I would like to do is to use this kind of trim. Well, not white, but like this one. That's much more my style. Maybe beneath it. But the thing is, these trims take up a lot of room. You know, it adds bulk. Oh my god, look at that. I love it. That's what I want. Can I add bulk, please? Because the thing is, well, my current planner, this is the size, the thickness that I like, and the more you add, the more, you know, you get this gator mouth situation. And I mean, that's fine for a junk journal where you journal or archive things, but the planner I use every day, not so much. So you really have to compensate for this, you know, if you add a lot of bulk. And one way of compensating is to use inserts like this instead of the big insert, like my Someday Maybe insert that's in the new planner, that's this size. If I use my smaller inserts instead, you know, you get this sort of free space that you can fill up with borders and trims and lace and stuff. So I might do that. I'm just, because this is the look I'm going for. It looks, I don't know what it is. I like it. And I am going to cut this, maybe this side as well, yeah. And keep it in the book so I don't forget that I loved this and that one as well. And we'll see what happens. Maybe no, it just doesn't fit. I don't know. I don't know. Question for another day. Let's see if this is dry yet. Oh. Still a squiggle. But it might not stay that way, you never know. Okay, so it's not dry, but it's not soaking wet either. The mermaid page with the glitter. That was a really good idea. And that was the final one I did. Okay, so I still have 40 pages to do, thereabouts. Ugh, I'm getting sick of doing this, but yeah, I think I'll do that off camera. So I'll leave you now and maybe see you again when I actually use this book for journaling. I have my prompts here, things to journal about. And I will start on Sunday when it's August.